woods. It's mid-October and I'm working on a sequence that shows the forest floor in action, getting perspectives from the animal's point of view. That's what this is really all about. Day in the woods filming ants, and it is a beautiful day, proper autumn day. So this is for a sequence I've been working on about the effects of an unexpected mast year in 2022 and how all of the forest ecosystem here in the Forest of Dean is responding in its own way. So you can see, because we're out of the main sunshine of high summer, these ants are pretty much all underground, whereas in these kind of light rays in high summer they'd be basking, warming up in the sun and getting a UV bath. So here you can see the macro gantry system. You can see I've got a big light panel, flexible light panel. I've also got a couple of little spots which are powered off at the moment. They're just on these little magic arms underneath. The Laowa probe lens is on the Zcam F6, and you can see there's a prism on the end of that. So right now it's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I've got my director's monitor up here with the receiver, not far off one of their nests. I'm not in one of their main navigation routes, so I'm being a bit respectful of them. Nevertheless, I'm cautious where I'm stepping. I don't want to squish any. What I'm doing at the moment is I'm just driving this thing around. Right now it's in FPV mode. I can knock it into ATI mode, so I guess headless like that. And I can set key points, keyframes, and I'm just able to get a complete 360 of these animals as they run around. It's really cool. So we get the same range of motion that we're used to seeing with FPV drones. And the novelty here is that I can actually spin the camera 360 because there's a commutator at the top. Slip ring commutator, so these wires will just untwist themselves. So I'll give you a view from the monitor here as I push the camera around. You see we're going to just track over those creatures, and we'll probably see a few ants in a minute or two. I'm going to spin the camera around so we get a 360. I'm going to raise the camera up, and I'm really going to start pulling the camera backwards. We're just panning across these fallen pine cones, moss, beech mast, beech leaves, and of course the wood ants. So I'm going to swap lenses now, and then I'm going to bring you back and show you this other device I've been developing. So I've lined up for another shot, and I'm just tracking over some moss. And here's the camera, and this time I'm using a custom built objective lens, which is a little bit different. This is a 4x microscope objective. It's on a 60-degree prism, and there's an iris just in front of it, and then at the very end of that little tip, I hope you can see this, at the very end of that black thing is a wide-angle M12 lens. I'm cropped into Super 35 mode on the camera because it doesn't quite cover full frame with this prism. It's close. There's a little bit of vignetting on the corners, which gives around 35–40mm full frame equivalent focal length. That's the camera. Custom carbon fibre tube, which I'm very smug about. And here's the view on the monitor, on the live feed. I'm just bouncing backwards and forwards between two key poses that I've set with the PlayStation controller. Box of prisms. I've got live control, but I've also got the ability to set waypoints, which I'm just oscillating backwards and forwards between. I can change the speed. So this is a nice perspective. It's not quite horizontal, but it gives the effect of tipping downwards, which is a fun perspective for getting an animal's point of view. This is lit with 3 little light cubes again, these little white light COB bulbs from Small Rig, very effective.